Hey, so my name is Mithun, and welcome to AI Makerspace. My name is Mithun. I'm a research scientist here at the Data Science Institute. My PhD is in AI with a specialization in NLP, and I also was in the industry for more than 10 years before I came back for PhD. And I am helping Nirav with all the AI stuff we are doing here. So today's session, the idea of this makerspace was slightly different when we created it, and I was just talking to Nirav about it. So we wanted this to be more an interactive session and more like a hacky hour or an office hour. I mean, so today I was thinking I can talk to you like looks like Enrique did show you how to run Ollama and Gradio and LangChain in your local machine. So today I was thinking I'll show you how to, break you into the big boys group, which is starting with high performance computing and cluster and how to do it. But even before we get into that, I wanted to understand, your intentions for this class. Like, what are you trying to learn? Um, Jake, you wanna start?
Sure. I mean, for me, I'm just orienting to how to use large language models to analyze language data, and especially how to analyze it in ways that are very customized. So not sort of pre-built models for sentiment analysis or something like that, but rather like things, very specific things that I want to code in the data. And so, yeah, I've been experimenting with using Llama to code qualitative data, and that's about as far as I've got. But I'm sort of interested in taking data, putting it into a large language model, having the large language model process it, and give me results. Big picture, that's what I'm trying to accomplish.
Nice. I think there's also a chat. Let me see. Rai says it's our pattern analysis for binary compilations. Okay, nice. So you're trying to learn more deeply um, how can you utilize large language models for your research? And have you guys already set up, like, how far have you gone in the journey? Have you been able to set up an entire pipeline on your laptop?
I have, yeah. Yeah.
But did you already have a GPU access or something?
Oh, no, I don't do the whole thing on my laptop. So I've been using a remote server for the actually running the LLM. I did try running it locally using Ollama, and I ran out of disk space very quickly.
Okay, that's what I was waiting for. So welcome to the reality.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the AI world that'll run on your laptop. So this is the biggest problem everyone is facing right now. And which is why, more than insisting on the AI part itself, we wanted to have a discussion with you guys about, what is the whole 360-degree problem that we are trying to solve here. Um, so yeah, so I was thinking I'll slowly break you into high performance computing stuff because sooner or later, or let's say sooner, since you already encountered it, you're gonna realize that these models itself are so huge that um, we cannot run it not for the RAM, not for the CPU or the GPU or for the disk size sometimes locally. So the idea is people have been trying to do HPC. So before I get into HPC or any other high performance computing cluster, we will go through three of them: the HPC, we have Cyverse, and the NSF Jetstream. So at the end of this course, you'll know the whole shebang, not just the front end, but from front end all the way through hardware management. So let me ask this. Is there a particular project that you're working on right now? Like, apart from outside the class, are you using it for anything else already? Okay, somebody is muted. I can't seem to find where that window is. All right, chat. No, participants. I am out.
I'll I'll chat a little bit about what I've been doing. So I have a little on-prem server, and I have Ollama, and I'll use it to give me a summary analysis of documents. So I can say like, oh, read this folder. Um, I want to do more because I think that there's some interesting work if you take frameworks that are written and then look at the relationships between those nodes and those relationships, because it can, you could build more understanding because your model is more specific, but there's things I'm stuck on.
Nice. So that is exactly what I wanted to hear. There are things you're stuck on, and this is the place where we want you to bring those stuff, right? So that was the idea of Makerspace. Like whatever we taught you last week, you have already implement until last week. You implemented it, and you're bringing it now into the class to have a discussion. And maybe towards the end, maybe like the last 30 minutes, I will use to go into the new theory, which you can slowly use for the next time. So do you have anything right now which you would like us to work together for another 10 minutes? Like a problem which we can help you solve, or at least guide you, if not the coding detail.
Um, I don't have a problem like structured well enough for that. I just learned about this workshop by
Okay,
perusing.
okay, no issues. Okay, no issues. So this is the idea here that maybe what we can do, we can start from the next week that we, if I'm assuming you all are interested in building an AI model, and like Jake said, you probably are trying one at home. So let's help hold your hand in the journey, because as much as it might have sounded very nice in the laptop, but the real trouble happens when you move to the high performance clustering world. So which is what we were thinking of doing today. So let me get into that then in that case. Nirav, is there anything you want me to discuss right now about, I mean, unless Jake, you have a problem which we can look into, like you're stuck somewhere in the AI pipeline.
Uh, uh, same answer as Rye. I think that I run into problems on a sort of hourly basis, but I don't have anything formulated right now.
Oh, that way. Yeah. So if there are some of, maybe like record them, or every time a problem happens, just take a list of it and we can even talk about it, because that way you will be helping the other student. For all you know, it might be the same problem he was stuck at. Yeah, okay. So then today I'll
Just to recap what I heard is Rai and Jake both sort of have a capacity issue where they may want to do something and scale up, but where they are, there's limitations to what they can do to scale up. And so hearing about how do you scale up with a large language model related workflow seems to be a common thematic need. Is that a good way to summarize the? So I think what Mithun's trying to show today is very much aligned to that. So I think Mithun, you definitely have a good grasp on what tooling you can show them such that they can go back home and try it with their question. And I think we have one more person that joined. I think it's Pradnya.
No, I'm not doing anything on LLM as such, but I just joined just out of curiosity what's going on. That's it.
Yeah.
I wanted to try, but I don't have time to look into all the try with LLMs and all.
What would be the problem space that you work in, Pradnya?
No, right now I'm working on a capstone project which is related to geospatial stuff and all. So
Okay.
I may have to use cyber. So let's see. Right now I've not started with that, but
Okay.
nothing. But because this is a little bit completely different than what I'm doing, so I don't know whether I'll get time to look into LLMs.
Yeah, no problem. I think Mithun and Enrique and I, we are here to just sort of hear what pain points people encounter and then either point them to some solutions or discuss and brainstorm ideas. So,
Yeah.
no worries. It's not meant to be to put anybody on a spot and saying, tell us something now and we'll work with you on it, but more important
Yeah.
for you to take whatever you see and try it out. And if you get stuck on something, come back and talk. So that sort of is the goal of the makerspace being a space where you come and make something. And so I think
Yeah.
it's going to show you things that I feel will be relevant to what three of you are trying to do.
No, I want to try Cybers for my project, that geospatial. Now I'll be opening the files, all the TIFF files, GeoTIFF files, and I want to break them into small pieces and all. Perhaps I may need Cybers. That's what I feel. Let me try it on my laptop. If it takes too much time, because it looks like it may take time, but if it is too much time, then maybe I'll try it on Cybers. I had opened a account previously, but then I didn't try it out later on, because actually in the during summertime I had not enrolled for any subject, so I don't know whether I'll be able to access if I'm not enrolled for any subject. So I didn't try it out during summer. Now let me try. Yeah,
Yeah, no worries. So,
yeah.
and Cybers, you can use, it's not linked to your coursework and your enrollment.
Mm-hmm.
So we're more towards an open science platform, and we want to be as
Yeah.
accessible to people as we can.
Okay.
Okay. So I just wanted, now that you mentioned, just wanted to say the idea of founding, one of the ideas of founding a data science institute is we are here to help from in the whole steps of the AI software development cycle. You could be the person who has no idea about AI. You come to us with the problem. We figure out what is the best solution, or we can even send you to our own lectures. We have series on them, including geospatial, Pratnya.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I've already enrolled for those workshops. Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
this data science institute is kind of
Mm-hmm.
envisioned to be the one-stop shop, all for, how can we help with AI stuff kind of thing. Okay, so sounds like other than that, almost everyone's problem is scaling. So let's talk a little bit about how we can achieve it. So I was going to talk, let's say, have you done Ollama? I thought, Jake, I heard you say Ollama. Are you familiar with that? Okay, how about Rai and Pradnya? Do you know what that is?
Yeah. I had attended that session. Even I'm attending those workshops on this thing on Ollama. I felt it was interesting, but then I don't know. I didn't try it out because I'm already having disk space problem on my laptop, so I didn't attempt it out. But
Okay,
it's
and
an interesting thing to try it and see.
so how many of you know about HPC cluster that UFA has?
No, I could not attend. I think there was a workshop in between, but then I didn't get time to attend so many.
No, are you
So
familiar with,
I
I'm just asking question to everyone, like, are you familiar with this department, high performance clustering
I think
department?
there was one workshop on this before, but I didn't attend that. I don't I don't know head and tail of it. It's
No, I'm just
completely
saying we have three
no,
clusters on campus, including HPC
no.
and yeah. Okay, so HPC, I just wanted to know, like, Jake, have you ever connected to HPC?
Is AI Verde part of that?
No, this is an entirely different department. It's like the working horse of UFA, which has the high performance computing infrastructure.
Yeah, I don't know any more than just it exists.
No, that's okay. That's perfect. That's exactly what I'm trying to introduce to you today in a much more friendly term. And how about RIDE? Have you accessed high performance computing before?
Only Cybers. This is different than Cybers.
Correct. So this is
Okay.
different than Cybers. So this was the first one. Like, this has been there for at least 10 years, if I remember correctly. And this is how, people have been submitting jobs until Cybers came up, or at least Cybers was made public. So welcome, high performance computing documentation site. Now, the goal today is, let me quickly jump through and see what all, I'll do the standard what is Ollama thing, but I'm pretty sure you guys all know this. And there is another lecture from another workshop which is doing a much more better job than me. Ollama, so far, if you are not familiar with it, it's again like Data Science Institute. It's supposed to be this one of the one-stop shops using which you can call all these different LLMs. Now, Ollama itself has a lot of options for you. It could be Llama, Gemini, Phi, Nemotron, like whatever model you name, including those from Hugging Face, we are able to get it using Ollama. So now, do you want me to cover how to run Ollama on your laptop, or are you all comfortable with that? Sounds like you are. Okay, good. So in that case, let me jump into what HPC is. HPC is our high performance computing cluster, and that is the one we will be using today to log in to push our tasks and job all the way and make it run in a GPU. So I want you to actually work it out with me today. It's very simple. Do people need to have HPC accounts now before they can SSH into it?
That is true.
Okay. You might want to apply for an HPC account. I'm assuming if you go there somewhere, account creation. Okay, there you go. So I'll post this link in the chat group. So I mean,
So-
sure.
Yeah, Mithun, just given this group is not very familiar with HPC, I just want to give them a baseline of the investment the university makes. Every 3 to 4 years, we invest almost $5 million to buy new fast machines. And then these machines are what hundreds of users on campus do science. And the cost of running this is borne by the university. So it is available at no cost to our faculty and students, but it has to be used for research. The sort of strange part is because we don't pay tax on the machine. And when you think of $5 million in tax, that's a lot of tax also. You cannot use it for coursework. The way we use it for coursework is every 3 years when you buy a new machine, the old machine is considered depreciation value of 0. And then the state says, okay, this is worthless and it's good enough for everybody else. And so you can use it for teaching on the older machines. But a 3-year-old machine still on an HPC world is really decent. And each faculty member gets, I want to say, close to 100,000 compute hours per month combined on different systems. And when you consume that as a lab, you can still use what's called windfall, which we can talk more about, but there is some level of priority you get for the first 100,000 hours of compute on different systems. So that's sort of just a quick background for you on that system. And if you're not using HPC, you should find a way to use it because you're leaving 100,000 compute hours on the table for your lab. So my advice to anyone is make sure you exploit resources that are available to you wherever you can find them. So back to you, Mithun.
Okay, so having said that, just an introduction to HPC is probably exactly at the right time we brought it up because this is exactly what Jake was complaining. Like, hey, you have 88 GB of RAM, couple of CPUs on your laptop. Even if it was a desktop, you could have maximum 1 or 2 RAMs, right, or GPUs. So instead, they're saying, hey, what if we can offer you a machine which has 94 CPUs and 470 gigs of RAM just for you, right? So that is the kind of scale difference we're talking about. Even like Cyverse is close to that scale, I'm assuming. So the other only downside is, I don't want to say downside, this is how they were saying. So we can connect to HPC in two ways, command line and an online connection. So most of us use the command line, or rather that was the one which came first in 10 years ago. And so this online one is called on demand. And here you can check what all jobs you have started, how much GPU is it using, etc., etc. So this.
Mithun, are you sharing something or?
I'm so sorry, I did not realize.
Oh, no, sorry, my bad. I can see your screen. My bad.
Right?
I can see. Yeah, I can see it. Sorry.
Yeah, so this is like a good dashboard to start and connect to the HPC. But most of the work what we usually do is we tunnel into a secure shell from us to the HPC, and the way we do it is so once you apply for an account, that is something you will get. Your account made here. Let me try making it big. Okay, SSH Mithun Paul goes in there. I type my password. Okay, so now it's asking me, just want to push it even this as a two-factor authentication. So going in for Duo Mobile. All right, done. So the first thing we do is get into a high performance computing cluster. So it'll be interesting. So what we'll have a look at is like if you just was looking at a quick start tutorial, and this will be helpful for you when you try it out yourself. The first thing is logging in. They said, sure, we want you to create an account. There are two ways, either using the browser or using the terminal. And how is this set up? So this is set up like there is something called a bastion host. So for example, as you can imagine, these are like tons and tons of machines sitting next to each other. So how do you kind of manage it in a nice way so that it's equally distributed to people? So the first one we log into is known as a bastion host, and he is supposedly the gatekeeper, right? He's the very first person, and he's solely used for login check alone. And from there, you advance to something called login node. And this is your platform of jumping into high performance cluster. So let's try this. Here they say, let me ask for the host name where I am. Oh, there you go. Host name is gatekeeper. Host name. Okay, gatekeeper.hpc.arizona. Perfect. So this is the machine which is authenticating us to get inside. And in fact, today's steps are all explained in the wiki page, which is here. You guys all have access to this, right? Like AI Makerspace, GitHub. If not, Enrique, can you post the link again here in the chat window? So today's session 3, and I have a Python notebook here, a Jupyter notebook, which talks about all this. So, which is why I was thinking I'll talk about Ollama first, run on laptop, but looks like for all of you, HPC is a higher priority. Now, Ollama we covered on-demand, that is a web interface. So this is what I was saying. Once you connect to SSH, and this is what we call the bastion host or the gatekeeper, you type shell, SHELL, and this will show you the different clusters that high performance computing has. Puma, Ocelote, Elgato are the 3 major clusters. Now, if you want to go back and understand what that is, we click on the same HPC documentation, go back to the page on accessing compute nodes. So Puma standard nodes, and the different definition of node is a hypervisor. Technically, it's your own computer. Let's put it that way. So you alone get this amount of storage and CPU, GPU power. So for example, they say if you want to find out like which ones are working right now, I should put a pipe more. So which is also my point being Linux command line is something you might want to start looking into if you haven't. Enrique and Nirav, help me out here. In the open dashboard, they don't need to know any Linux command line, is it? I haven't used this ever.
No.
Okay, perfect. But anyway, the way I'm going to show is the command line, which is what I'm very familiar with. And this is probably a better way of submitting job. I'll let you decide that. Okay, so currently I was looking at what are the list of nodes, and they're like close. These are all the individual machines which have been assigned to people. Now, you can imagine, like, I think I don't see the count here. Somewhere they'll mention like the overall count and stuff. So anyway, coming back to accessing. So we have access here. These are the computing nodes. And there are 2 ways you can start applying for a job, or well, submitting a job. The one is interactive jobs, where you almost have a command line interaction with eventually you have to hit the command line one way or the other. That's correct, right? Or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So, which is why we are trying to show you how to get there. And so there are interactive jobs where you're literally, it's like you're talking to your own terminal on your laptop, while there is also batch jobs, which is much more bigger jobs. You just submit it, put it on a schedule, because that job will want like 200 GPUs at the same time. Might not be what your machine has, or however you want to split it. It's nicely packed and distributed by the scheduler. So now our goal here is we connect with the system on a command line. So let's go back to our wiki page here. Okay, we tried shell, and when we did shell, it showed us the list, and oh no, okay. So it already got us into, we are inside the login node, which is, like I said, the jumping point. And there are three major clusters there. It's Elgato, Puma, and Ocelote. So usually we suggest to try Elgato at first. And Elgato is a much more freer cluster. Puma is the more powerful one, or maybe Ocelote. So they're always used. So Elgato is something better for interactive, because people rarely use interactive stuff, at least the crowd I hang out with. So Elgato, so my point is, if you want to switch from Puma to Elgato, all you have to do is type Elgato, you switch to the other cluster. Okay, so another thing I wanted to introduce to you guys is tmux. Tmux is basically a virtual terminal creator. And the idea is this: say you were typing something in your command line here, and your internet just got cut off, right? So let's say you are running something very important, almost gonna press the final enter, and your internet went off at home, it just conked out. The one thing about Linux machines is, if it's gone, it's gone. So normally when you SSH again, it'll present you with a completely fresh terminal. But instead, there are things called tmux, which you can use to sustain your session across signouts. So this is what we, and also, if you have used Ollama, you would have realized that even though in my machine I have Ollama running here, I still need a client to access it. Right? When this one, if you're Mac and if you have this Ollama running in the background, what it is doing is it is a server which is running in the background. My point is, by the time you come to the command line land, you need to do it two ways. One is you need to create your own server, and you need another window from which you can run the Ollama itself. Okay, so commands to install Ollama. So actually, I want you guys to have a look at Ollama, right? I'm sure you've done all this before. So Ollama, if you haven't gone through it, please go through the documentation. It's really nice understanding what it does. And how do we download it, right? So here, usually you can do a curl minus FSL, but HPC, the problem is, which it doesn't give you a sudo access. Also wanted to mention, Jake, now that you're familiar with AI Verde, we have an AI Verde sitting on top of HPC documentation. And honestly, I found this was, like, I restarted using HPC yesterday after like a 3-year gap. And I realized that documentation is really boring. So we have created HPC documentation, and the chatbot itself can answer like, what is the first thing I need to do to get an HPC access? Okay, hey Verdi, don't embarrass me. Right, while she replies, yeah, we need to work on this, guys. All right, anyway, so they're saying first thing you need to get HPC access is register for an account. And it shows you even the corresponding link from all the page. And so it's a good typical query retrieval interactive chatbot, which I think it's not public yet, but just letting you know how we have been using all our AI technologies. Okay, coming back to HPC. right? So we are here, host name we asked. So this was, so remember what happens was every time you hit a new tmux, it's almost recasting or respawning the terminal again. So you might get respawned in Puma instead of Elgato. You can just say, okay, give me Elgato back, right? So now if you do ls, the file system is what almost everybody has. Like it'll be very similar. So if you do pwd, you'll see, okay, I'm on /home/u11. And if I do this ls, a step, which is in Linux, it means go like a folder above and try. Then ls is just list. These are all the people who have, who currently are on the same cluster as I am. Okay, so cd, if you're not familiar with command line interface, cd is change directory. It just takes you to your home directory. I'm not going to spend too much time on Linux commands today. I'm kind of assuming you knew it. So I'll just at least speak it out loud when I'm doing it. So ls shows me my home ground. So I'm going to create a directory, mkdir. That's how the command for directory is. If you're not familiar, directory is exactly same as a folder. Is there a comment there? All right. Oh, yeah, Elgatos doesn't have GPUs. That is the other reason we probably they encourage you to do, we can probably stick to Puma, then no issues. But the interesting part is even if you switch to Puma or, I may even, okay, so your file system remains the same. So you'll get the same set of files underneath there, right? So, so I was gonna think maybe today, if you guys are able to log in, we could have done this together. So, class, AI Makerspace class. I'm gonna create a directory, AI Makerspace, cd AI Makerspace, and it's all your directory for the entire class. Oh, am I not sharing my screen? I am, right? Okay. So coming back, we go back to what are we doing here? Okay, commands to install Ollama. So Ollama, so I was showing that if you go to Ollama website, it's the GitHub repo itself, it'll show you some standard ways of downloading on Linux, and 99% most of the high performance computing clusters are run on some version of Linux or the other. So typically you can use this command curl to get the Ollama, curl -fsSL. But like I said, we don't have sudo access or root access on HPC, so we cannot do that. So instead there is this command where what we do here is we are downloading the Ollama's zip file. So let's go back to the command window and let's paste that here, curl -l. So we are downloading the tar file directly from Ollama. We'll give it a few seconds. Okay, so let's see. So that file is here. We have the entire file, which is probably, what is the size? It's, yeah, the size is 1.6 gigs, even in a tar form. Awesome. So let's unwrap it, open the zip file, the tar file, right? Okay, so it gets the Ollama installed straight onto my /bin. If you're familiar with Linux, /bin is your the engine part of a ship. Almost all your applications are running from a /bin. So AI Makerspace, let's see. We will do ls again. You has /bin and .lib. Oh, wait a second. Created on my machine. Sorry.
You already did that. You could.
No, I'm just saying it created it in ./bin. It might create a problem later, but we'll do it, cross it when I get there. All right, so let's see this. I'm gonna, this is how you start Ollama after that.
So You gotta be careful there because what you're doing is that you're executing Ollama on the Bastion host. This is a violation of the HPC policies. You need to get an interactive session with the interactive command before doing that.
Yeah, sorry, I missed it somewhere here. I missed it. All right, so let's see. Host name, I'm still on Bastion host. So let's do interactive -a. And we have a data lab account.
I suggest that you use the G option to get a GPU out of those because this will give you a CPU only.
Okay, so interactive -ag. How do I do that?
I think you add G as another flag.
Okay,
Interactive -G interactive.
-a-g. Okay.
Mhm.
Nope, let me see. It's not yeah, so it might just be -ag, right?
No,
Oh.
no, the
Or it has to be done
the
explicitly.
lab is an argument to A, so you need to put the G as a separate flag from A.
Oh, I know, I see what you mean. -a, -g.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So we have a GPU machine right now for us. Good catch, Enrique. I would not have thought of that. But as you can see, the file system remains the same. So I'm gonna go back here, AI Makerspace. I am gonna, let me do this from scratch now that we already like install it in the other file system. I'm gonna remove that folder and again gonna create another one, mkdir AI Makerspace. I go into AI Makerspace, clears my terminal. So I'm gonna go back and start from the curl again. I'm gonna go curl, copy this command here, go back here, give me a couple more minutes, seconds. Okay, perfect. So we are in host name is I19897. That confirms we are not in either of the Bastion hosts, which was, I think I named them here too, like Ventil Trap and Genoni. I'm hoping those are good things. Okay, so let's do this here. Unzip the tar file. Where are we? Oh. That's a mistake. I need to change that in the wiki page. All right, so it installs Ollama in your local, the folder right there. And of course, this is your server. So that is where I was talking about tmux. Okay, so once we have the Ollama installed, let's see if it got installed. Ollama install, it says, of course, the command not found because it wants a correct format. So I'm gonna do /bin/Ollama serve. If you were running it on your local machine, like a laptop, you almost never would have encountered serve because internally that's what happens when you're creating a Ollama application or a GUI based application. Okay, so on one side we have a server ready. So the next step I wanted to do was run an Ollama, as you know, is more like a distributor. And I wanted to particularly ask them to run /bin Ollama run llama 3.2, which is what you would do on your laptop if you were not SSHing into anything else. So to do that, let's do another terminal here.
Mithun, before you get there, it's worthwhile to just show what you see, where you can see now it's running on a GPU and you can see the last 3 lines of your system where now it's using the GPUs for inference. So that -G that you gave to the interactive got to your GPU node, and Ollama is smart enough to realize that there is a GPU and it'll start using it. So
Oh,
this is not the most fancy GPU, but it's still better than what you would find on anybody's laptop.
can I say HPC has more of these than Cybers?
Oh yeah, but these are old. But yes, it has a lot more of these than.
So I think this is a question most will be there in the minds of most of these people, but maybe too scared to ask. Why would I want to use HPC as opposed to Cybers?
Is it a question for me or?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll ask. Okay, I'll ask it to you, Nirav, because I'm reading it in their minds already.
So these are fairly old GPUs, and as I said before, use the resources you can lay your hands on. So if this works, go use it. Go use Cybers. Cybers are newer GPUs, are A16s and not the P100s, but it's a capacity issue. So you have to figure out what works for you. And if HPC is busy, hop on to Cybers. Cybers is busy, hop on to that. If not, jump on to Jetstream, get your work done. So whoever provides you what, organize your code and data and make the most of that resource. We are all opportunistic parasites.
It's a nice word. I learn a new phrase from every meeting with you. All right. So I was telling you like Tmux is just a shell window, and I'm gonna press Control B and D, which means it's gonna take me out from that Tmux. So remember, I'm still in Elgato. Sorry, the Bastion host. So if you do Tmux ls, you can see that there are two Tmux windows we created, or in other words, two terminals. And even if my internet connection blows up now, I can come back and see that these two windows will be running there already. Now, if you want to attach to one, Tmux attach minus T, let's say 2. So this was the window where you're running the server. So I'm gonna close that for a second. And instead, I'm gonna see what did we do on 0. Okay, 0 is still sitting in Ventil wrap, and I think we're using authority there. So, and here again, we need to interactive minus G data lab. So we are exactly repeating the commands. Oh my God, minus A minus G. We are kind of repeating the same command, but all we are doing is creating another client window. So let's see, ls, your file system remains the same. We can even go into CD AI Makerspace. And let's see, so we already have the .bin .lib Ollama sitting there. And what all we need to do from the client window is run a client. Okay, so what happened here?
So what happened here is that you requested a new node that is different from the one that you're running. So you need to SSH to the previous one. And within Tmux, you can create another window where you can get a new terminal and you'll have running the Ollama instance there.
Okay, so here, how do you remember the command? Control
Yes, Control B and then C.
Perfect. Okay.
And then there you can run Ollama run. And it'll you're no. So look at that, you're on Wattle Trap, that's the Bastion node.
Exactly what I was going to say. Okay.
You need to get into the node that has your allocation. So,
okay. Would R11?
Yes. So do you remember you had a window open, a Tmux session open somewhere?
Yeah. Control B, C, Control B. Okay, I forgot how to jump sessions.
So I don't know if you close the session. So yeah, connect to I don't know which one has it, but just connect to both and see which one's it.
Yeah, okay.
So that one's
okay. This is the original one. No, this won't run here. This one, the server one.
Yes. So you can. So do you see that on your command line you have that one? So then you can copy that.
Go back to other terminal.
And open and then SSH into that node.
Okay, so I not do this way. Dot.
And then
this way.
I think you're missing. Was it Ocelot? ocelot.hpc. No,
way?
it is i18n7.ocelot.hpc.
Okay. So I think the last
Yeah.
time I automatically connected to the same node from both my own machine.
You could, but the issue is that the Slurm allocator is going to isolate your resources. So
Oh, good point, man. I didn't know this. This is very cool. ls, now if I type Ollama, oh, perfect. Okay, so this is,
type Ollama run.
yeah, yeah, Ollama run this one, right? So this command basically.
Yep.
This is the window, and are we on Ocelot TVR? Correct. Okay, hey, how are you doing? So it just loaded Llama 3.2. Wow, this is fast. Just land.
So you can verify in real time that you're using the GPU if you split the pane by pressing Control V, then opening square bracket.
And maybe it's the other one. Control B, this one. I forgot, man. It's
Control B and then the left square bracket.
yeah, I know it's not working, but I understand. I forgot.
Or
that. No, it's okay. What I'll do is I'll just switch back to the other one.
But since it's generating text so quickly, that hints to me that it's working on the GPU. Otherwise, it would take longer to reply.
Yeah, I forgot the Emacs commands. Okay. Okay. Are you running on a GPU? GPU graphics. Blah blah blah. Okay, sure. Okay, so we have loaded Llama 3.2, and like I said, you don't have to be stuck with Llama 3.2 alone. I think you have to do Control D to exit here. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And then let's go pick another favorite model. Let's go to the home ground of Ollama. Do you have any list of models or?
You can just go to their website. It's easier to find it from there.
Okay, let's use Gemma 2, right? Okay. So what is it called? GEMMA2. GEMMA2. Okay, so it's going to take its sweet time. So we have shown you what we need to do for HPC to run Ollama, but clearly today I'm teaching you, instead of teaching you how to fish, I'm giving you a fish. I would like you guys to ask questions about any of this so far. I know a lot of information if you haven't done HPC before.
I was trying to find the thing where you had all the information on Ollama. Is that, I was looking on your GitHub page and I don't see it there, like how to install it.
Wait, so you're talking about the AI Makerspace GitHub page?
Oh, wait.
UA Data Lab -AI Makerspace?
I think I have it. I just needed you to point your mouse in the right place. Got it.
Are you at here, right place, AI Makerspace?
Yeah, he
Yep.
found it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then I go to session 3, and session 3 has this notebook here. And this notebook particularly doesn't have any other installables because this was already covered in another lecture in another workshop. So I link you to there, and the steps are pretty simple. It explains what is Ollama and all those things. And if you really want, these are the same step which we have replicated from the Ollama website. If you go here, that's what they would say. Hey, click download. It'll say, you tell me what machine you are in. It's a Linux. Okay, you run this command. So it's all linked in that one single
Yeah, I didn't see the notebook. That was the only thing I was missing. So I got an account and I'm in there. How do I know if I'm on the Bastion or on a place that I can actually run this?
Host name. Can you type host name?
It says Junonia.
Okay, perfect. So if you go back to my notes, you'll see that Bastion host, there are two names to it. It is Ventil wrap and Genonia. As
Okay,
long as you are on either of them, you are just in that, bastion host, which is like the very first node you're landing on.
so to get into a place where I can actually do work, I type interactive -A.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Yeah, --A data. But you need to have an account specifically also, isn't it, Enrique? Like -A data lab is for only us, right?
Yeah, but you could request an windfall session windfall, and that'll work.
Interactive, that's it, right? -G. That's all he needs to do. Interactive -G, right?
Mhm.
-A, and then he has to give a lab. So, how about we do this? Given we have few minutes, I also want Mithun. Have you used the Open on Demand to run this tutorial? If not, my suggestion would be we can use Jake as an example. And sorry, Jake, I'm trying to make you the guinea pig here. I can walk you guys through that process of having Jake do it himself, and we can watch Jake as he does the things. And because he may trip differently than you, because we have data labs set up and Jake is not part of that. So everything he'll try, he will fail alone. Might as well fail while we are all watching him. Would that work for you, Jake?
Sure.
Okay, if you can share your screen and just go to the thing, let's see if in 6 minutes we can take you from zero to functional.
OOD dot, can you let me
Yeah, I
paste?
think he's sharing his screen and then we'll take him there.
I'm
Mithun, I don't want to break up your mindset of what you had, so I don't want to like
I'm
hijack
done.
it.
I'm done. I'm
You're
done.
done? Okay. Okay.
So I just pasted to the link to here, and I wanted this last 10 minutes to be interactive again. Okay, there you go.
Okay, so you can see the screen?
Yep. So why don't you go to a tab and just put in OOD?
It's already there.
You're already there. Okay, so you're using the command line there, right? Go back to the OOD, the main page.
The link I just posted on Zoom. Zoom window might be all the way in the bottom of your screen. There you go.
So that
Okay.
took me here.
No, I think remove the pun sys dashboard, just ood.hpc, nothing else.
That's the second. It's probably because he already has it running.
No, but it should take him to the that is weird. Can you go in an incognito mode? I feel like there's something weird about it. Unless the HPC is having a moment. Yeah, try again. Yeah, there we go. Okay, log in.
I think you're right. It's HPC is having a moment. It's asking me all weird stuff. Yeah, I think it's not HPC. It's the thingy. Shibboleth restarted or something at this second.
Huh. Yeah, I think actually HPC is having a moment. Otherwise, it should have just gone there. We may have to file a ticket. Enrique, is the same thing happening to you? Or I'm wondering if Jake, did you just get your account?
Yeah.
Probably
Okay.
not.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe Mithun, you may have to do the steps I'm talking about.
Okay.
Sorry, Jake, because it'll take few seconds for them to like provision your account and grant you permission. So
Okay.
it might just be that. Mithun, do you want to take over with your account and OOD?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay. So if you go to interactive apps, the tab, and there should be Jupyter Notebook somewhere. Yeah, click on the Jupyter Notebook. Yes.
Should
And
I
then,
stop sharing?
yeah, you can stop sharing and then we just look at, because I think your account is not ready. for all the fanciness, but it will be. So if you click on cluster instead of Puma, choose Ocelate. Yeah. And then Q, I think you can take, yeah, or standard with GPUs, whichever. And then runtime 1 hour is fine. Number of cores, put GPU to be 1 GPU. Don't take yeah, take P100, that's okay. And then PI group, I think you are on my group or data lab, I forget what it is.
Let me try data lab.
Okay, it's queued. It'll take a few seconds. Hopefully it'll come up. And then you can just click on it and you're going to get a Jupyter notebook running on a node with a cluster GPU on it. Let's see.
Okay.
Click on that session ID and it's still saying starting. It'll eventually shift to it's running. So, oh, it's running. There you go. Hit connect Jupyter notebook. So now here is your Jupyter notebook with everything in it, and you already have Ollama and all of that installed. So where you see on the right-hand side where it says new, click on that and get terminal. So now you are on the same terminal as your, and so now you can type Ollama or whatever you want here, and you will be in.
Wow. Okay. This is
So the command line and tmux and others might be a heavy lift. This is like really easy for a new user. And so you can go back to the Jupyter page, and no, you can leave it there. And you can start a Jupyter notebook. No, the second tab, not that one. And you can say new, where you see that new, and you can say new like Jupyter Notebook, yeah, or Bash or whatever you want, and then you can start calling the commands from the notebooks. If you already had a notebook with all the steps, you're now starting to use it right away.
Oh, this is they improved a lot since the last time I worked on this because we were completely the Tmux SSH people. It's like the Emacs people and VI people. So when you get us to do front end stuff, I all just am lost.
Yeah, the good part is here, you'll still follow the same steps. You're now opening the terminal inside of Jupyter Notebook. So you're on the same machine. You don't have to SSH back to that machine. So what you were doing is the old school, but guaranteed way. This is sort of a quicker way. So if you're a brand new user, I find this is a little bit easy for students who are not familiar with the command line.
Perfect.
This looks much more like what I could comprehend.
And Jake, since you are a VS Code user, if you go back again to the Mithun, if you go back to go to interactive apps, there should be VS Code. So I don't know how much Mithun can keep asking for GPUs before they stop him, but hey, it doesn't hurt. Try. And so you can. And so now you can get a VS Code with a GPU that's running and you can do a lot of what you had. Now, this is still not as convenient as what you're doing on your laptop with Word, but there it is.
No, it has VNC, so you might be able to allow your local machine itself to start a VS Code and connect to this. But that's a longer thing to switch
Yeah.
off.
So, but anyway, Jake, I just wanted you to see the various ways to get in.
Very cool.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. I just didn't want to intimidate them. I just am too much of a computer guy to know this. All right, perfect. This is also working. All right, nice. Okay, any other questions, people? So this is recorded, so I'm assuming this will be, you can go back and look at it.
Thank you so much. This was very helpful.
The other thing for all of you is that you can always go to the office hours for UA HPC. They are again very helpful group of people, and if you're stuck with something, go talk to them, and get help from them. Collectively, we are sort of more on the machine learning AI side, but before you can be good at machine learning AI, these are some of the handshakes you should know and secrets that you have to be made aware of, or else you'll spend a lot of time banging your head against the wall.
Yeah.
It will be a very interesting experiment to see if AI Worday can answer his questions before the office hours.
Yes, that would also be there. So yeah, Jake, you can go to AI Wordy and also ask the same question.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I think we are way over time, but
Thank you both. Thank you all.
thank you all. Bye. Have a